This podcast is a member of the Place to Be Nation family. Visit us at placetobenation.com, the only place to be in your pop culture world.
Place to Be Nation class is in session. Welcome back to my classroom. I am JT, here alongside me, my BFF forever. Or is that what it stands? Is that what the third F stands for? Forever?
Yeah, it's redundant.
Best friend forever. Jeff Machado. Jeffrey, how are you?
Very good. I am a student.
He is, and this is episode number 9. Jeff Learns Wrestling. I want to thank everyone who has liked our Facebook page. Thank everyone who has provided feedback for the show. We appreciate each and every bit of it. And for those that had some consternation amongst us or about us jumping ahead in our timeline last couple episodes, we are safely back in the haven of 1987.
Very controversial episodes 7 and 8, I'd say.
They were controversial, but here we are. We're back in time, 1987, so it's been a while. Last time we were here, we talked WrestleMania 3. Are you still feeling the bang from that episode?
Feeling the bang. Okay. Andre goes down.
Were you excited to jump ahead now, or jump back to 1987 and forge on through that year?
Yeah, I always like to go back to reliving my 8-year-old self that was deprived of all this stuff. Watching stuff from now is kind of like weird, like I'm just missing out, I'm just behind. So,
this past weekend, I went to a church bazaar, or as my daughter keeps calling it, a pizzar.
A pizzar?
Yeah, pizzar. She's like, what's that thing we went to? A pizzar? Or she said pizzir, I think. I don't know. She's way off, whatever it is. And it was at Our Lady of Czestochowa, which is the church that we used to play CYO basketball in. It was in the rec center there. And it brought me back instantly to our basketball days, me and you on the St. James team. Freshman year, high school, I guess?
Yeah, like 8th grade, freshman year, something like that.
So we were there, and your dad was our coach. As many know, he was intense at times, maybe a straight chair going out in the court at times. And you just told me he was recently banned from a league.
No, he wasn't banned. He pulled out.
He
was just out. They disrespected him, and he resigned.
But he's effectively banned. But you also told me that you were just at his house a minute ago before you headed over here, and you told him you were coming to do this podcast. And you said he told you some tales of wrestling. Anything insightful that you can share?
Yes, he immediately lit up, and he's like, I used to watch wrestling. I watched wrestling before it was a WWF, back with that hacksaw Jim Duggan, and this is the funny part, that's the only name he could remember. He was like, it was hacksaw Jim Duggan, and then there was that guy. Who was that guy? He just kept saying, who is that guy over and over again. I was like, Nikolai Volkov? He's like, nope, that's not him.
Hulk Hogan?
He's like, nope, before Hogan.
Well, Duggan was definitely not quite before Hogan. I mean, unless he was watching Mid-South Wrestling, which I'm not sure he would have been. Is he always from Rhode Island?
Yeah. I mean, this is the father of the wrestling novice, so obviously he's not an
So we
expert,
should get him. We should have him watch one of these things with you.
He did say something interesting, though. He said he was convinced that he took me to a wrestling event at the Providence Civic Center, which I have no recollection of.
And he called it WrestleMania, right? Which is what all old people say.
Yeah, he said, didn't I take you to WrestleMania?
They all think it's WrestleMania. Or like Jim's, the late, great Waylon Price would call it the Bouts. Which was always a favorite of mine.
He took me to the Bouts. You don't remember that?
The WrestleMania Bouts. All right, so that's cool. So maybe we should have him watch one of these with you and then come on with us.
That would be interesting.
Talk about it, Big Kev. That'd be pretty fun.
He'd probably talk about wrestling for 2 minutes and then just go on a rant about St. Rose basketball.
That'd be great. And then we get more hate mail. All right, so we're in 87. What we're going to do now is we're going to bridge the gap between WrestleMania 3 and the Survivor Series, which is the next pay-per-view you'll be watching. And then I have a fun thing for you following that, which I think you're really going to like. Knowing what you're into and your likes and loves, you're gonna really dig what I have planned for you after Survivor Series.
I have to wait now? I have to wait for the fun thing?
Well, it's on the dock, so you can.
Is this the first Survivor Series?
Yes.
Okay, so it's like
the
Survivor
first.
Series 1. Or do they not call it anything?
They go by year. WrestleMania is the only thing they do by number. Everything else is year. So Survivor Series 1987.
Gotcha.
All right, so we go to May of 1987, Saturday night's main event. And we're here to end, finally, this never-ending feud between Randy Savage and George the Animal Steele.
Is this the end of the Animal?
It's not the end of the Animal, but it's the end of his issues with Randy Savage. It had been going on for fucking ever, it feels like.
I really thought he would get Elizabeth. It's very shocking.
Yeah, well, it almost seems like, and Scott and I were talking about this because we watched another match of theirs before WrestleMania 3 the other night, and Like, it even seems like Elizabeth is fucking done with him at this point. You know what I mean? Like she kind of humored him for like the first year, but now that we're well over a year into this thing, it seems like she's even like, all right, George, like leave me the fuck alone, please. So they had a match. They first started in January of '86, and now we're in May of '87, and these two fucking guys are still going at it.
What's their win-loss record total?
It's pretty much Savage has won like everyone.
Okay.
You know, so they had a match in March on Saturday's Main Event where Elizabeth was on the line and Savage beat him by countout. Liz was put up in a big lifeguard chair.
That is amazing.
Yeah, so.
Lifeguard chair match.
She would have had to go with Steele if Steele won, but he didn't. So now we have the final. I think it's maybe the fourth Saturday's Main Event match. We've seen these guys, and they also fought at WrestleMania. Of course, Steele was with Ricky Steamboat at WrestleMania 3. And this is pretty much it. So what did you initially think of the lumberjack concept?
I thought it was great.
Okay.
My first thought was, why isn't every match a lumberjack match? Because for two reasons. One, it keeps away from all that outside the ring, would just bail out the result with a count-out stuff, which is like my biggest pet peeve. Because some guys can fight outside the ring for 2 minutes, and some guys it's like an immediate bell, and the match is over, the count-out. And two, you get to see all these other guys out there all the time.
Right. Were you wishing they wore lumberjack shirts?
I wasn't, but I was wondering why it was called a lumberjack match.
Yeah.
Because lumberjacks are always... Shouldn't it be like a bull ride match or a rodeo match?
Yeah, I'm not sure why
they're always wrangling things.
Yeah, I don't know where the lumberjack term came from, actually. There are times where they do make them wear like flannel shirts over their gear.
That'd be an interesting wrinkle.
Yeah, I guess they're just maybe they're supposed to be like logs. Like when they throw the lumberjacks throw the logs, they're just throwing them back in the ring.
Yeah, it made for some really awkward moments. Like if one guy comes out toward the guys who are his friends,
right?
Then they go, "Hey, man, I hope you win, but got to do it."
Yeah.
Whoa, there you go, back in.
But when it's the other way,
yeah, then they just
like
beat on them
fight
for a couple of seconds. And...
all right, so here are the lumberjacks. Let me know if you want to talk about any of these people in particular. We had Danny Davis, Ricky Steamboat, Hercules, Jake Roberts, Jim Duggan, your dad's favorite wrestler, Kim Chi, the Honky Tonk Man, Bret Hart, Jim Neidhart, Dynamite Kid, Davey Boy Smith, Tito Santana, Rick Martel, Tom Zenk, Iron Sheik, and Nikolai Volkov.
Wow, you're reading this off a computer, and my mind was just blown. It's Jim Neidhart, Neidhr. What does that even mean? I thought it was Neidhart.
No, Neidhart. That's his name.
Like the Anvil Neidhart, like he's a knight.
Oh, no, Neidhart. That's like his real last name.
So is that where the heart comes from?
Yeah. Well, it's Neidhart.
Is it Bret Neidhart?
No, it's Bret Hart.
So they're unrelated. They just have the word heart in their name?
They're actually brothers-in-law. The Anvil's married to Bret's sister.
Wow, that is...
So the Hart family is like this legendary wrestling family. There was 12 kids. Stu Hart is the father, and he was a big-time promoter and wrestler up in Canada. Had 12 kids that all pretty much somehow were tangentially involved in the wrestling business. They either wrestled or married wrestlers or refereed or helped run. He ran his own promotion called Stampede Wrestling in Calgary.
You're either going to wrestle or you're going to marry a wrestler.
Pretty much. I mean, that's pretty much what it was.
Those are your options, kids.
So Brett's sister Ellie was married to the Anvil, Jim Neidhart, not Jim the Neidhart.
That's amazing. If I learned nothing else from tonight's episode, that is the one. Like, I've been such a fool.
You don't think that would have been a stupid nickname, Jim the Neidhart?
Well, it kind of looks like a knight.
It's kind of like Tommy the Gun Morrison. Yeah.
Tommy the Gun,
Okay.
Jim the Anvil, Knight. I guess it's two names back to back. Doesn't make sense. All right, let's move on.
All right, anyone else you want to talk about from the Lumberjacks? I think we've talked about them all at some point or another.
Yeah. Have I seen Rick Martel before? I mean, I'm going to see
he was in the Can-Am Connection.
The Can-Am Connection.
Him and Zenk.
So he's the Can, or is he the
Correct.
Am?
No, he's the Can and the Ams.
Gotcha. Zenk is the American
He's
guy.
the Yep.
And of course you got the foreign racist,
the Foreign Legion,
the terrible Kim Chi. Who's that?
He was. Have you seen Kamala?
Kamala, yeah.
He was Kamala's like handler, the guy with the mask.
Oh, right.
What did we watch? Kamala Hogan?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, he was Kamala's handler.
Yeah, Kamala was terrible.
Yeah, Kamala's gone, I think, at this point. Oh, yeah, well, we watched Kamala versus Andre the Giant. That's right. In the cage. Way back.
I thought it was Hakeem versus Andre. Who did Hakeem fight?
No, that was the Mega Powers and the Twin Towers.
Oh, the Twin Towers.
That's ahead of where we are. We're going to get there again.
Okay.
I was actually thinking I'll probably have you rewatch some of that stuff you watched in that first episode when we get there timeline-wise, just to see if it still holds up to what you put it at.
This is our 9th episode. When we get to 10, are we going to have an awards show?
Some shows do that.
Because if we had an awards show, it would help me like study up on this stuff, because I'm already starting to forget stuff.
Right, yeah.
And there's only so much I can watch.
I know. You're doing well.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, what do you think of this lumberjack affair between Macho Man and the Animal?
Well, the Animal, like you said, you could kind of get the sense that Elizabeth was done with him.
Right.
He would just he would do a couple grappling things and bite the turnbuckle, and then, this whole Steamboat Animal love affair is kind of weird to me.
Did you like when he called it WrestleMania the 3? WrestleMania number 3?
Yeah, it was funny, especially when he was talking to Gene before the match, and Steamboat comes out and he's like, "What are you doing to George?" It's like, "Stop making fun of George." He's like, "I don't think he's ready for this match." He doesn't understand what it is.
He was treating him like as a special needs brother.
Yeah, like he's supposed to be an animal. He's not supposed to be,
mentally ill,
short bus or whatever.
So the Lumberjacks, Savage wins a match, and the Lumberjacks all pile in and get into a big fight. Always the highlight of a Lumberjack match, the big brawl at the end.
Yeah.
So any other thoughts, or what did you think about this one? I
think it was a sad ending. I think George deserved better.
So do you think at the end of this he should have... I mean, he's going nowhere, and Savage is like the future. So they kind of box themselves in a way. You can't really have Elizabeth go at Steele. You just can't do it, because he's an old guy that's going absolutely nowhere. He's got no future as a wrestler there.
But if he had Elizabeth, then he would have a future.
Probably not.
It's a tale as old as time.
It's more likely that he would have died before he became a big star. But he's still alive.
I guess so. They could have pawned him off into like a different storyline or something like that.
Yeah, they do. He sticks around, but he was never going to be
Or maybe
a big
Elizabeth
deal.
has a sister that he falls in love with, and then he wrestles with the sister's husband.
So the sisters go against each other?
Yeah, something like that. Does Elizabeth ever wrestle?
Not in the WWF. In very late in her career in WCW, they throw her in the ring. Any other notes or thoughts on this one?
I thought it was interesting that Jake comes in with the snake, and then everyone leaves the ring. Like all 15 guys are afraid of the snake.
Definitely afraid of snakes.
I mean, out of 15 guys, you got to figure at least 2 or 3 would be cool with the snake, right?
Well, it was the 80s. I don't know. Do you feel like snakes weren't as
snakes
cool?
were like the sharks of the 70s? Like Jaws comes out.
Everyone's afraid of them.
Now everyone's just like afraid of snakes.
Well, remember, Alice Cooper was into the snake because he took it and held it over his head and everything. So, yeah, maybe it was more like, were snakes still like very tied into like Satanism and whatnot?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, if you were a kid and you had drawings of snakes, they would ask you if you were into the devil. I used to get snake books.
I like how you said it. I like if kids at that time, if they drew snake, I had a snake book. So
every kid went through the same things that I did. Yeah. That's just a fact.
I just like how you tried to pawn it off, I guess, that you've heard of other kids getting asked if they were Satan.
Oh, I went to school with nuns, so whenever we made a mistake, they would say, when kids do this, they become Satanists.
And so they said
and they go to
snakes.
Hell. Yeah, they thought it was weird that I like snakes.
That's funny because that happens to me on the Place to Be podcast. I tell them going to hell. I guess I don't know. Everyone's afraid of the snake, and they will never get comfortable with the snake unless you're Alice Cooper. You're cool with the snake.
Yeah, I mean that's probably why they paired him with Jake, right?
Alice Cooper.
Yeah,
because heavy metal Satan guy.
I wonder if Alice Cooper was secretly afraid of snakes and that he had to go through training just to handle it.
I feel like he's probably been with snakes in heavy metal music videos. Wasn't that? I feel like that was also a snake thing in the 80s.
Yeah.
They were all over music videos. Because even, was it Wayne's World where she has a snake?
In Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
The pits of snakes in all the movies.
A lot of snakes. Home Alone, the guy was named Snakes. I don't know, no snakes.
I don't know snakes.
Snakes.
The most interesting part of this match is that after it, there's an interview with Heenan with the neck brace on.
Yeah.
He's talking to Andre, and they're saying they're going to dispute the WrestleMania 3 result because it was too slow of a count out. Does anything ever come to that? Is there like an Andre Hulk Hogan rematch coming?
It does play.
Very exciting.
It does play a role into things. Yes, they do keep hounding it, and it plays out throughout the summer. So Andre actually goes away for a bit after WrestleMania. He had to have back surgery.
That's
so
not good.
He'll be back toward the end of the year. So this is how they kind of keep things afloat, that Bobby demands justice. Do you remember that part of the match? It's very early on when Andre falls on Hogan and he gets on his knees and holds up the 2 fingers. He thinks it was a 3 count and the referee counted 2. It's like right in the very beginning.
Yeah, they actually show it during the interview.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that was the moment that they're talking about.
That's kind of like it seemed like a normal thing to me. It wasn't. Do you think that they came up with that controversy after the match, or was it a planned slow count because they knew they were going to do that already?
Yeah, the way they do it, I think it's a plan because it's not one of those things where like it's done and the commentators didn't talk about it and then they show it later and act like it was something. Like the announcers, like Gorilla and Jesse, I remember them talking about it when it happened. They're like, "Oh, that was 3," and they really call attention to it. So I think it was.
Yeah, and he does hold up the 2 fingers.
Right. So maybe they weren't definitely going to go forward, but they might have left the seed there in case they needed to pick it back up.
Well, if you haven't seen that interview, you should check it out again because they're on this tiny little couch, and Andre is sitting there next to Heenan, like normal. I don't know how they pull it off.
Yeah.
Like the guy's 7'5", and he's just sitting on this tiny little couch. It's a great shot.
He did kind of have a small ass, Andre. For a big, giant man, he didn't have the biggest ass.
He was just sitting there with his arm around the guy. Tiny little couch.
Very comfortable. All right. Any final thoughts before we move on?
Am I going to see any more lumberjack matches, or is this just like...
Yeah, we can find one for you. There's some out there.
No, I don't want you to adjust your...
No, we will see it. There's more.
We'll and the Facebook posters know more than I do about what I should watch.
You will see lumberjack matches at some point in the future. All right, so next we head out to, and this is on the WWE Network if you want to check it out. It's also out on YouTube. The Primetime Wrestling from May 12th, 1987. And this is a very random match. This is suggested by our buddy Chad Campbell. Because it's a kind of a fun random match. And that is Tito Santana versus Butch Reed. And I'm going to be honest with you. Until we prepped for this episode, I had never seen this match. Chad brought it to my attention. I really liked it. I thought it was really well done. I liked the focus of Butch Reed, when he was working Tito over and the way it built to the finish. So what did you think of this? Talk to me about it.
All right, so at the beginning, we have this whole slick, natural exchange of some kind of object in his hand.
Yep.
And he's like passing it back to Slick and then puts it in his shorts. And then he passes it back and he eventually hits him with it. What the heck was it? Like, do you ever get to see what it is?
It's probably nothing. They're probably just faking it.
Just an excuse to reach into his pants?
Yeah, or, it's like a magic trick, optical illusion. As long as the fans are so far away, they don't know. So if I go like this, you may think I had something in my hand, and I put it back in because it hurt. That punch I just threw at your jaw.
I led to some funny Jesse banter because the other guy was like, "What has he got in his tights?" And he's like, "They're called trunks. They're called trunks, not tights. You got to go back to wrestling school."
Was that Craig? I think it was Craig the George. Did he have like kind of a raspy voice?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Craig. So, yeah, Jesse...
he just kind of sounded like an idiot, and Jesse was all over him the whole match.
He had like no respect for him at all because he's not a wrestling guy. Like Gorilla, he usually makes fun of, but he has like a healthy respect for because he was a legend. And Vince is the boss, so he treats him like shit, but he still reveres him a little bit. Guys like the George, he has no time for. Just bums.
I've seen Reed before. He was at WrestleMania 3, right? He fought Coco.
Yeah.
That was kind of a boring match, but he was pretty cool in this match. He's a big dude.
Yep.
And he was flexing a bunch. Like, have we ever measured his pythons? Like, are they close to Hogan's pythons?
Well, Hogan's at 24. I don't know. I don't know if Reed. If they're not talking about it, maybe there's a chance he's over 24.
Do you think that secretly backstage people are like 24-inch pythons? Who the hell is this guy? I got 27-inch pythons.
Yeah, not allowed to talk about them. I don't know. Do you feel like you've seen a lot of guys that have bigger arms than Hogan?
I mean, they're pretty big, but like Hercules is pretty big.
Yeah.
Butch Reed's pretty big. I think it should be like a thing, like biggest pythons.
Gets to use
in
the
game.
python.
Yeah. It's like the Phil Nelson. There should be one guy with the best Phil Nelson.
Right.
They could go back.
Well, that's why they had the match about it.
They go back into the weight room, like see how much they bench press. They never talk about how much these guys bench press.
Yeah.
That's like a huge thing in football. This guy benches the most in the league.
So, Jim Ross, who you'll eventually get to know very well, he becomes one of the biggest announcers in WWF history, was in NWA/WCW this time, and he was big about calling it like a sport. So he talks a lot about like their athletic backgrounds and that kind of stuff. They just, for whatever reason, WWF, they weren't into it. I don't know.
Yeah, so I want to know about their college background.
See, you'll like Jim Ross then.
Pre-WWF records, things of that nature.
Yeah, see, I don't know if maybe they felt if they drew attention to it, the ones that weren't. I think they just wanted everyone to be larger than life. I don't know. I don't know the reasoning.
And who's the commentator with the accent? He was pretty funny. He's like, look at Tito's.
Was that Bruno?
Bruno, yeah.
It was Bruno Sammartino.
Look at Tito's go. He make the peoples happy.
We've seen a little bit of Bruno. He was the guy that was backstage.
Is he Asian in any way? Because I find that Asians tend
Italian.
to put S's on... Oh, he's Italian. That makes no sense. He just can't talk.
He's awesome, though. We got to watch some classic Bruno when we do like a throwback episode someday.
There was one really cool move from this match where Reed jumps off the rope and flying knees him.
Yeah.
And you see a lot of jump kicks, but you don't see a lot of jump knees.
It's a lot of precision.
Was it a real move, or did he just miss the jump kick?
No, it's a real move. There were guys that do a running knee.
It was nice.
Yeah.
Oh, and I also saw this was a great pile driver.
Yes.
My first one. He was straight up and down. His head actually hit the mat. There was a jostling upwards off the mat, and he fell. I was like, yeah! I actually jumped off the couch. I was like, first good pile driver.
There you go. So you didn't like the Danny Davis one at WrestleMania, huh? When the British Bulldog, I think his Davey Boy did it to him?
No, because Davis ruined it by and falling over like a friggin' idiot cartoon.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so there you go. Your first quality pile driver. So it sounds like you become a Butch Reed fan after this match.
Yeah, he was good. I'm kind of sad that he's not the Natural. Do you ever get to see the Natural?
Dustin Rhodes, yes.
Oh, right.
We'll see him.
So he's the Natural.
He's the Natural.
I'm so confused.
He's also Goldust.
I'm confused by reasons that our viewers can't possibly ever understand. Yeah, Tito is pretty great. He's flying around out there.
He's always good in like every match.
He's good at like a flying, jumping. Yeah, he's very energetic. He's kind of like Steamboat.
Right.
But they kind of like they're like a team.
Yeah, that's similar. Is he up there for guys you've seen so far? Like all the stuff we watched?
He's not like when you say up there, he's not like one of my favorite guys.
Right.
He's like a really talented guy who's good at the middling stuff.
How do you feel when his match is on the sheet as you're moving through it?
I'm like, oh, okay. Let's see what kind of crazy stuff happens in this one.
Okay. But he never bores you.
No, he's a good worker.
Yeah.
He works hard.
Look at you using the term worker.
That's what I'm here for.
You're getting there.
I'm learning.
Yeah.
I didn't like the ending, I'll tell you that much.
Was it a time limit draw?
They never
or a
really
double
say.
disqualification?
No, it was a draw.
Yeah,
it must have been
limit.
time,
Yeah.
but like a draw?
Yeah.
This is America.
Well, that's just another
We
cheap...
have penalty shots in hockey. Okay, we have
Well, they
10
didn't
minute
at the time.
sudden death
Did they?
overtime. It didn't have the time on. I don't know.
No, they used to end in ties in hockey.
They
Back
don't
in
have,
those days.
They used to, and they
Right.
eliminated it.
Okay, well, this is when that was.
Well, I'm living in 2017.
I know, but we're in
So I
1987.
don't want you showing any more draws.
The Whalers and fucking Flames went to a draw. That's what it was. It was just another way. It was just another way for them to protect both guys, so neither guy could take a loss, which is what happened because TV generally was a top guy versus a jobber. You know that they would just beat up, they would lay down for them, just an enhancement talent. When the two name guys fought on TV, there very rarely was a finish because they wanted you to come out to the local show to see the finish.
Okay, that makes sense.
So they're not going to let Tito beat Butch Reed on TV. They're saying, fuck, Tito couldn't beat Butch Reed, but if you come out to the Kalamazoo Auditorium Tuesday night,
There will be a result.
You can see Tito beat Butch Reed, you know? Or Butch Reed.
This is it wasn't a very showy match. It was a very, like, athletic match.
Yeah.
There was that little stuff with Slick at the beginning with the hand thing, but yeah, it was
a workman's match. Just
yeah.
Two craftsmen going at it.
I mean, I guess Reed is kind of a heel who isn't ready to be an asshole yet.
Yeah.
Is that his thing?
Or
is he an asshole?
Yeah, I feel like he's been an asshole. Maybe just this match was just against Tito. You got to keep your head on a swivel. Can't let your guard down.
Put it this way: if I had just watched this match without knowing anything prior, I wouldn't know who the heel was.
Even with the stuff with the tights and the object, didn't.
I guess minus that.
Okay.
But we've seen.
So if you take away all the heel things he did, you wouldn't have known that he was a heel.
Come on,
if the crowd wasn't cheering for Tito, I wouldn't have even known he was a face.
George Steele like bites stuff and bites
he's
people.
retarded.
I don't necessarily think reaching into your pants makes you a bad person. But
No, it doesn't.
you and I are two different people.
Depends where you're doing it, I guess. All right. Next up is a big time match historically. Not a great match in the ring, but I needed you to watch this to get us moving forward. And that is from the July 13th, 1987 Superstars, as Ricky the Dragon Steamboat defended his Intercontinental title against the Honky Tonk Man. did the result of this match meet your expectation when it began?
It was like a 5-minute match. I
Yep.
mean, I didn't understand even how it. I watched it like 2 or 3 times. I didn't get it.
Yeah.
But in those, it was an action-packed 5 minutes.
Yep.
2 things happened.
Yep.
One, fell in love with Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
Guy is incredible. Like, I've heard him do a couple matches already. Still Gorilla's my number 1, but he's great. And 2, my first full-on hatred. Honky Tonk Man can suck my dick.
All right. Finally.
Wow.
And it's funny because he's meant to be. He's one of the most hated people in wrestling WWF history. So.
He's got so much going for him.
Yeah.
Like, he's got the whole country music thing, which I don't like. He's got the Elvis impersonator thing, which is so lame. He hits people with guitars.
For real.
He gyrates his
By the way,
not attractive midsection.
By the way, I got to give you Jeff Learns Wrestling point. I should carry on like Jeff Bucks and hand them out to you like a gold star.
Like Tommy points?
Right. So
I want to get me some Jeff Bucks.
we were together
Right
we were together Sunday at your house for about a half hour or so. 40 minutes, I don't know. Time went by quick. And you referenced I was talking about someone getting injured or something. And you said, is it like when Honky Tonk Man hit Jake the Snake with the guitar? Or was that on the last Jeff Learns Wrestling? I think you brought it up in normal conversation, and I was very impressed.
It could, yeah. I don't think it was on a show.
I think it was Sunday. I think you said something.
Watching football, maybe.
No, I think it was when I said Alex, my son, hit me or something with something. You go, oh, was it when Honky Tonk Man hit Jake the Snake with the guitar? It was anyway. It was. I wanted to give you credit.
So it was like a proud dad moment.
Yeah, it was like extra credit. Like, this is your classroom. If I catch you doing work outside the classroom, I'm going to give you extra credit. So it was good.
I'm taking my knowledge and I'm applying it to real life.
I was a proud teacher.
And I had never really seen the Honky Tonk Man much, other than that Jake the Snake episode in WrestleMania 3. But
Right.
This was the first time I was like, "Is this guy? Are you serious with this guy? Oh man, fuck that guy."
So it's almost like so Weasley that he is now the Intercontinental Champion, right? He beat this upstanding, proud gentleman in Ricky Steamboat.
Is this one of those things where he's just going to be the champion forever?
We'll see. Steamboat, are you surprised he lost it so quickly after that chase with Savage?
Yeah, like what's going on? Is
So there is a backstory.
Oh, you meant quickly, like time wise? I thought you meant.
Well, the 5 minutes, but also he won it in March and then lost it in July. So he doesn't have.
And
a
then we
very
had that
long
thing
run.
where Savage was like, "Yo, you can't lose yet. You can't lose yet.
Right,
I
yeah.
wanted to get it from you."
Right, he wanted to be the one that took it back, so he's pissed that Steamboat lost.
Yeah, so I figured there'd be like this third epic Savage and Steamboat match, and
Right.
now it's just the Honky Tonk Man has it.
Yeah, so there may have been plans for that. I don't know how long Steamboat was supposed to keep it, but his wife got pregnant, and he asked for time off when she had the baby, and Vince was kind of a dick about it, and basically was like, "We need you on the road. You're the Intercontinental Champion. If you want time off, you're going to lose the belt."
Oh,
So that's why they
yeah.
took
You
it
know
off.
what? In that case, I'm on Vince's side.
Yeah, right? Get on the road.
Take the baby with you.
Yeah.
Get a nanny. You're a champion. You gotta represent the belt.
And it wasn't just champion. He had won it in a big spot, you know? He had won it at WrestleMania. They put a lot of hype behind him, and now he wants to go off the road for 3 months or whatever. But, you know, whatever. Ricky Steamboat's a pretty generally loved guy. I'm sure they could have maybe worked something out a little bit better than what they did. But here we go. So the title's on the Honky Tonk Man, which in some ways is good because the money, as you may have heard on Glow, is in the chase, as many have said. So
Never heard that.
the money's in the chase?
The money's in the chase.
Right. So if you're the good guy and you're the champion, people may want to come see you vanquish the challenger. And they made a lot of money with Hulk Hogan. He's one of the few guys that ever really made that work. But the bigger money is in having the asshole champion who always somehow squeaks out with his title, and you're chasing him and chasing him and chasing him, and you want to finally see him lose. Now, you can wait too long, which has happened at times, for the guy to get his comeuppance, and then everyone
People
just kind
start
of
not
gives up.
caring, yeah.
Right. So you got to find that sweet spot. But you can also argue that there's not a ton of money in just a good guy champion warding off all the challengers. At some point, you need a bad guy to steal a belt from him.
Yeah, I guess it's tough. There's only one Hulk Hogan.
Right.
But does it have to be the Honky Tonk Man? I mean, what? That's not even a name. The Honky Tonk Man. He's got no name in his name.
So from a business perspective,
What do you call him for short? Honky?
is he Honk, the honkster?
The
Is he,
honkster.
Is he someone? I just made that. I don't know if they call him that. Is he someone that you feel is turn off TV for you, or is he someone that you want to see get his ass kicked?
I'm not sure yet.
Okay, we'll see how it evolves.
Is it like a Howard Stern thing? Like I'm going to keep watching to see someone hit him? I don't know.
Well, that's the goal with a heel. They want, they're supposed to be bad and evil enough that you'll keep watching to see them lose. So is he that, or is he the type of wrestler that does exist where you just don't like him to the point where you'll just turn off the TV if he's on because you hate him that much?
And the guitar stuff, and he's cooler than Elvis. Are you kidding me? You're not cooler than Elvis. What the frig is Honky?
Elvis is as Gorilla Monsoon has said multiple times, Elvis was a great human being, a great man. Have we talked
you,
about
sir,
this?
are no Elvis.
Have we talked about this on this show? I feel like we have.
Gorilla's obsession with Elvis?
Well, just said if you think Elvis is a great man. I feel like we've had this conversation.
Must be somebody else.
Do you feel Elvis is a great man?
Somebody needs to email me and because there's no way I could have just forgotten an entire Elvis. Yeah, Elvis is great. He's
a great musician and he's a great actor. Is he a great man?
Well, I don't know as much about his biography, but
because Gorilla talks about him like he's like Martin Luther King and these things. He's like, Elvis is a great human being, a great man, and you're tarnishing his. It was like, you could say he was a great entertainer, a legendary musician, and actor. I mean, I guess he went to war.
Well, greatness is tough to pinpoint. I mean, he changed the world of rock and roll music.
True.
If it weren't for him, we'd be a lot less happy.
He also died a drug-addled slob on a toilet.
Well, did he? Wasn't it mostly alcohol?
Maybe. No, I thought it was like prescription pills or something.
Oh. Well, maybe if he had... I'm going to look... Next episode, I'll have a complete Elvis workup.
Okay. That's good.
I'm going to determine yes or no if Elvis was a good person.
Okay. Someday we're just going to get, like, out of nowhere, this, like, awesome album from Elvis, Tupac, and Biggie. Like, the three of them just collaborating on this album. It's just gonna
There's got to be a lot of unused footage out there. That would be great. I would love to hear Biggie rap.
I meant like new. I don't mean unused. I'm intimating that they're all alive and together are going to drop, like, some massive album.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to break the world.
Yeah, since I just intimated, too. I just totally missed it.
Yeah, you just said
I'm with you now.
There's a lot of old stuff that they could. You made it like Puff Daddy's going to go, or Brother Love, or the fuck his name is, just going to go into the
go into the vaults,
and make a. Which wouldn't surprise me. I'm shocked they haven't done it yet. But have you heard Biggie duets?
Like recently?
10 years ago, they released an album with like unheard Biggie stuff with like all different people.
Oh, it was a whole album?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, it's really good. Just check it out.
I should check that out.
It's like all different artists, and they recorded new stuff, and it goes with old Biggie stuff, and Biggie duets.
Did anything get released as singles? Because I need some new karaoke duet stuff.
We can look. We'll check after this episode.
Remember that time we tried to do Juicy? No, we tried to do Stan and Juicy, and
no, it was Bad Romance. Oh yeah, they didn't have Juicy.
They didn't have Juicy, and then we did Stan, and it was an edited version.
And then we did Bad Romance. You know, it's funny, that memory came up on my Facebook. It was like yesterday, like 10 years ago or 8 years ago, whatever.
Oh, that was what that night was? The bowling night?
Yeah, we went bowling, and then we went to that bar next door. And
we got to go out more.
Yeah, that was fun.
we can remember every time we've ever been out because we've only been out like 4 times.
But we've hung out like a million times.
Yeah, that's true.
I could tell you the year because I didn't have facial hair because I had my alopecia.
We have no time to hang out anyway because it's all wrestling all the time for the rest of our lives.
And any free night I have is like my wife is out and the kids are here, so we can't leave. We're just confined to this dungeon talking wrestling.
Yeah.
By the way, the best part about that was Stan
died,
farted, and then we brought everyone back with Bad Romance at the end. It was the last song of the night.
Bad Romance was the best song of the entire.
We killed it.
We killed Bad Romance. I mean, no practice. Harmonizing.
I did the rah rah gagas, and you nailed everything else. And then we did awful at the gay bar karaoke for your birthday.
Empire State of Mind.
Oh God, it was awful. I should never sing anything with harmony.
It's tough when you pick a girl who can really sing, like Alicia Keys. Right. You have to make a decision if I'm gonna just try to belt it out as high as I can.
I did.
Or if I'm just gonna try to sing it like a guy. And you went for it, and I respect you for that.
It was awful.
Yeah, and those gay guys who didn't like it, they can go fuck themselves.
You know,
because not everybody can roll in there and sing Carly Simon and Elton John perfectly.
Yeah, I fucking tried. It was your birthday. I was trying to give you a gift and sing with you. I think Crystal took over for me halfway through the first verse, and it was great.
Because your voice was totally shot.
Yeah, just like it's going to be Saturday. All right, any other thoughts on the honker and the steamer?
Yeah, I'm still not sold on the double pin ending. I think it was dubious at best.
What, where he's got the...
They both pinned each other, basically.
Oh, right, yeah. But he was hooking the rope, right?
Because Steamboat was beating the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And what's he called? the Colonel.
Yeah, mouth of the South.
He's standing on the bottom rope like an idiot. And then he starts getting beat up, and then I probably hit him with a megaphone or something stupid.
Right.
That friggin' megaphone. And then how are we going to end this match? Just let him hit him with the megaphone.
Get used to the megaphone.
Megaphone, it's over.
The megaphone's around for a while.
Let's make him carry around a rubber megaphone or a Nerf megaphone.
He's the Colonel. So yeah, Honky hooked the rope, and that's what he gets the leverage to win. All right, so we're in the world now where Ricky Steamboat is our Intercontinental Champion. I mean, no longer Intercontinental Champion. Honky Tonk Man is.
I'm the Honky Tonk Man. I'm the Intercontinental Champion. Yeah.
At least I know what song we're ending with tonight, and that is the Honky Tonk Man's theme song.
Fucking. Oh, man.
I should make you do that for karaoke here on the show.
I am a grown man, and I should not be upset by having to watch this guy wrestle.
30 years ago.
30 years ago. Is the Honky Tonk Man alive?
He is alive. He's kind of a prick in real life.
And we haven't even gotten to the worst part about my Honky Tonk Man viewing experience.
Yeah, we're going to get there. All right, so let's plow along, and we're going to talk about just this kind of an interlude match that was thrown in because it's a snapshot of one of the best feuds of the year in 1987. That's a tag team match between the Strike Force and the Islanders. Strike Force is Tito Santana and Rick Martel. So what happened is, if you remember the Can-Am Connection, we talked about them. They were set up Zink. They were set up for a big feud with the Islanders. And Tom Zenk left the company over money. He was pissed off. And they did a storyline that unfolded where Rick Martel was fighting the Islanders alone because he had no partner. And he was trying to find partners, and he couldn't find one. And, he tried out different people. And then Tito Santana steps to the plate to team up with Martel. And they become a unit and have a great series of matches with the Islanders and dubbed themselves Strike Force, a force that strikes or something. I forget what the promo was that they come together with. It's great, though.
The strikey, forcey strikers.
It's something ridiculous. It's like, we're going to strike them with force. Wait a minute. We could be Strike Force.
I've got it.
Yeah, I mean, that's legitimately what it is. So, the Islanders, have we seen either of them before?
No, and I was hoping that they would be, Italian dudes from Long Island. Who like the Islander hockey team, but they're just dark-skinned guys who don't wear shoes and wear lace.
Right. So Haku and Tama. Tama is like an all-time great, but he had a lot of drug problems that prevented him from really going to the next echelon. Haku is awesome too. Just he'll be around for a while. One of the toughest guys, legitimately, in wrestling history.
I can't say if I like them or not really because they didn't really talk. There wasn't any talking that I saw. They
don't talk much. Bobby does a lot of the talking for them. They're savages, as the 80s will have you believe.
Yeah.
If you lived on an island in the 80s, you were a monster and a savage.
Is it racist to say that while I was watching I couldn't tell them apart?
No, because it wasn't great quality. It was YouTube.
Okay, yeah. It was
30-year-old footage.
I'll take it.
Okay. This is the match now. This is from the Boston Garden, October 3rd, 87. And you were pretty not in love with the commentator here, were you? It was Pete, the Duke of Dorchester Doherty.
Yeah, is this the guy who had like the really crazy voice?
Yeah. I tell you something, Gorilla Monsoon. So he's kind of like
the Islanders are great athletes, I tell you, great athletes.
So he's just like a local Massachusetts wrestler. And he kind of dubbed himself the Duke of Doherty. He was pretty infamous, even though he was just a job guy, never accomplished much at all. But the Duke of Dorchester.
So I should like him because he's local.
Yeah, but he's kind of annoying. You could not like him. There's a lot of assholes from Massachusetts.
He made me laugh a few times.
So I wanted you to show this because, again, it's a snapshot of a really iconic feud that happened in the summer of 87 that doesn't really get any shine on like TV or pay-per-view too much. It was really a house show feud. If you did like this match, there's a podcast series out there called Tag Teams Back Again with our buddy Kelly Nelson and Marty Sleeves. And they did a whole episode, 2-part episode, on just the matches between Strike Force and the Islanders.
Really?
And it's really good. So I highly recommend it.
All right, I'll have to check that out.
So give me your thoughts on this match.
Well, Gorilla was on point with the sexual innuendo. It's Haku on the receiving end. Martel rams him with it.
It's funny because I just don't even pick up on these things, but you're coming in such fresh, clean ears. That
well, as like a writer, I'm down with the drama on the background, the build-up and stuff. I'm still learning.
See, that was one right there, the build-up.
I didn't even know I was doing it.
See again, you didn't even know you were doing it.
Let's see, wrestling-wise, this one I made a point, because I didn't want to sound like a racist, to figure out which one it was. It was Tama.
Yeah.
The single worst, if you guys out there It's like in the middle somewhere. Over the rope, through the barricade take I've ever seen.
Okay.
He gets thrown over the rope, lands on his feet,
and then jumps over.
Looks at the railing, and then jumps over.
Yeah.
Like, and then they're like, they sell it. Like, oh my God, he's off the apron and into the crowd. Oh, that must have hurt. And they actually replayed it.
Was it worse than Adrian Adonis hitting the ropes with the scissors and then hitting himself in the head?
Yes.
Really?
Because at least we can identify with elastic banding yourself in the face with scissors. Everyone's done that once or twice.
I don't know. That was more roadrunnery to me.
At least it wasn't like highlighted as a main. It was supposed to be one of the biggest moves of the match, and it was absolutely terrible. Which I feel bad because you just said Tom as a legend.
He's not a legend, but he's a great wrestler.
Okay,
so it made us a bad moment for a great wrestler.
Yeah, the Duke guy, he was kind of ripping off Jesse. He had the same kind of lines. You know, there was one point where somebody spit at somebody. I think Haka spit.
Haku.
Haka. Haku.
Not Haka. Tama and Haku.
Tama and Haku. That's confusing. Okay, so Haku spit at somebody, and Gorilla's like, oh my God, he spit at him. And he's like, I didn't see any spit. That's just a sweat dropping off his face. I was like, oh, that's a Jesse thing. You got to get your own thing.
Right. Do your own.
One thing that came to my mind, they kept talking about how Martel is burned. He was burned on this jam, and he was burned off the ropes here, and they're really burning through him. Was he like in a house fire?
No, I don't think so.
Is it just a coincidence? It was like 4 or 5 times they mentioned Martel getting burned.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
There's no inside
both
joke
of them
behind
said
that?
it? Gorilla and?
Yeah, both of them.
I don't think so. I mean, maybe his house fucking burned down or something. They were making fun of it. I don't know. No, he definitely wasn't in any kind of fire.
Oh, well, definitely someone should hit me up if that's true. But yeah,
I mean, Gorilla was known for like his inside ribs and jokes, so it's possible it meant something that they kept saying it. If you picked up on it like that.
Martel, burn victim, yes or no? Let me know.
He's such a handsome man. I can't imagine so.
So this was like one of the earlier ones of their fights, or is it one of the later ones?
I think it's kind of in the middle.
Are they going to end up with like title implications and stuff?
Not this feud, no. So this is probably the last you'll see of them fighting.
Oh,
we'll see them.
Well, that's a bummer because the Strikeforce lost.
Well, we'll see both teams. Well, I mean, they have other matches. We can track one down. We're not going to get to it for the show, but
so it's just kind of a historically, this was an important feud, and here's a.
It's a really fun feud with a lot of great matches, and I wanted to.
And let's never talk about it again.
Pretty much.
All right,
but you should listen to Tag Teams Back Again, the series they did, because then you can hear about the whole feud from start to finish. Because we're probably not going to get to it.
All right. Well, it was a miscarriage of justice, I'll tell you that much.
It was.
The old referee looking the other way trick.
They caught me off guard that the Islanders won. I was surprised. But I will say this. Sometimes when you have a match like this where it seems like one person or team is on the rise in the come-up and they lose, sometimes that does mean they may be getting prepped for a title run and they're trying to prepare challengers for them for later.
Well, that's why I asked you, because I figured, like...
I'm not saying this particular situation happens. I'm just using it as an example to say, so if Strikeforce were to win the titles, the Islanders would have a claim to say, we're contenders, we just beat them before they won the belts.
Right.
Okay. I'm not saying that happens.
No, obviously it doesn't.
Okay. Any other thoughts on this one?
Spoiling everything.
The savagery?
No, not really.
Okay. So we got 2 matches left. What I want to do is I want to jump ahead because we have one big match with an angle, and then we have one kind of throwaway match. So why don't we get the throwaway match, even though it's later?
I don't know. You should be careful. Jumping ahead is really ruffles some feathers.
It does. We're not jumping that far ahead. We'll go to about a month ahead. And then we're going to come back because I want to end the show with the big angle. I'm afraid that we'll talk so much about the other one that this will feel like we're just going to throw it away at the end.
All right, so let's burn through these bitches.
Let's burn through them. This is I don't think it's your first women's match. No, we watched Wendy Richter and that stuff.
Yeah.
First tag team women's match, and that is the Glamour Girls taking on the Jumping Bomb Angels. The Bomb Angels were imported, obviously, from Japan. They'll stick around for a while here in the WWF. The Glamour Girls, Leilani Kai, did you recognize her?
Yeah.
From WrestleMania 1?
Yeah. Well, I couldn't really recognize her because I was watching it on the...
Right. But
green.
she
I recognized the name.
Right, okay.
And the ugly, hideous outfits.
Yes.
With their giant, like, granny panties.
Yeah.
Like spank type things.
And Judy Martin, who is actually kind of overlooked as a great worker in the 80s. Like, she was really, really good. And what doesn't help is I think they clearly, because they were like the heel veteran kind of nasty team. They made them up specifically to look more like older and kind of haggard and like trailer parkish. Whereas I don't think they really were like that per se, but
The not so glamorous girls.
correct. I think it was supposed to be these bitches calling themselves the glamour girls, but they're really just tough trailer park trash. And the Bomb Angels are just young Japanese high flyers.
Yeah, I'm in love with them.
Yeah?
Yeah, big time.
Kind of anime thing.
Yeah, they're like that girl from Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Only there's two of them.
Yeah. Did Gorilla call this match?
Yeah.
I think so, right? Him and Lord Al?
There's a British guy.
Yeah, that's Lord Alfred Hayes.
It could have been Gorilla, but I don't remember any big commentary. So.
Only because he normally butchers their names and just says like this one and that one because he can't tell them apart usually, and he doesn't know how to say the names.
Oh, you know what? It was Gorilla because I remember thinking that every time they mentioned the Bomb Angels, they were calling them the Japanese girls.
Yeah, definitely because he had no.
And hits the Japanese girl. That's a very tough move for the Japanese girl. Like, you don't have to say that.
Did he say Oriental at all or Orient?
No.
Okay.
No, just Japanese every time.
Because that's usually pretty prevalent during this time period. All right, give me your thoughts.
Well,
Oh, by the way, this is from November 24th, 1987 MSG.
they look like they're like 4 feet tall. And they start fighting, and like they're powerful. They're like flying through these girls.
Yeah.
They're like Cirque du Soleil, kind of like you said. Like the who'd you say? Who did you say they were like?
Anime.
Yeah, like the hentai crazy jump kicks and
Right.
stuff, and they did a little too much of the move where you pull the lady.
You went right to the hentai versus the anime.
Is that two different things?
Hentai is like the porn version of anime, isn't it?
It could be. I guess that's probably why I know the name, because everybody watches porn.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a word.
I'm going to risk it and put it into my Wikipedia bar.
Is all hentai porn, or is some hentai porn, but not all?
Hentai, the English word is pervert, so yes. Probably.
So like I was saying, they perform like a hentai type of...
Look at this fucking thing. It's a word of Japanese origin, short for perverse sexual desire. Original meaning of hentai in Japanese language is transformation or metamorphosis. Yeah, basically it's a genre.
Oh, so
porn.
it's like the girl becoming a woman by getting raped.
Yeah, we got the Wikipedia is X-rated apparently.
You got to turn off safe search on Wikipedia.
Well, fucking A. I mean, they literally have a guy blowing a load into this girl.
Oh man, those girls look way too young to be in porn.
That's the hentai way.
Jeez.
I cannot. This one's got a dick. I can't believe this. Wikipedia.
Well, remember, Wikipedia is made by the public, so
Right.
people have to put these pictures on
Look
here.
at this one.
Just so I'm a hentai expert, so let me add some pictures that will help you really understand
All right.
what the whole thing is about.
I'm definitely gonna get rid of my browser history.
Hey, this is educational.
It was
you know?
educational. I could play this.
I was
for-
on a train of thought. It derailed because subconsciously...
When my
the
daughter
pervert
comes across these cartoons on my computer, she'll know.
She'd be like, I know what that is.
Yeah, so you went right for the hentai, so that was good.
So let's face it, you're not watching women wrestle without some kind of perverted sexual desire.
No,
So it makes sense.
Especially Judy Martin.
Yeah, I mean, she's a MILF.
Yeah.
Trailer Park MILF.
Probably a good MILF.
Gamilf. Gilf.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, but I thought it was great. They did a couple of the same move too often. Like there was a lot of the throwing the girl off the rope and then pulling it down over the head for the pin, which never ends a match.
Right.
People try it all the time, and it looks like really hard to get out of, but they just kick out of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, they were beating the shit out of those white bitches, like big time.
Can you read the line that you have there? They're like sexy little crabs.
They are.
Can you explain that one?
Oh, because they're like crawling all over the place.
Yeah.
They're like, they go from one, all right, say they're pinned on the ground. They stand up backwards and then walk out of the hold.
Yeah.
And then they flip over on top of the lady and they're grabbing them with all 4 limbs like little crabs. They're just scurrying all around the ring there.
So where do the Bomb Angels rank on your list of favorites?
They're like top 3.
We're going to see them at least a couple more times.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Also, you said the Bomb Angels. I was confused. Is it jumping bomb angels, like they're jumping bombs? Or are they the jumping bomb angels?
I think they're like Bomb Angels, like
they're bomb angels?
No, actually, I think it's probably they're jumping
jumping
bomb
bomb.
angels.
So they're jumping bombs.
Yeah, Bomb Angels is easier to say.
The whole 2 nouns in a row thing really
Yeah.
confuses things.
The jumping Bomb Angels. Yeah, I'm not sure. There's going to be some...
Are they more like angels or more like bombs?
Angels. Look at them.
So the jumping bomb.
There's got to be some jumping bomb angels hentai out there, I'm sure.
Oh, man.
Imagine Lenny Kai just being in a fucking animated porn movie.
What kind of person would I be if I don't go home and try to find out?
Yeah, no, you'd be wrong. You should definitely try and find out.
Yep.
Start at the Wikipedia page so you have the educational piece of it to explain yourself.
Oh, no.
So did you enjoy this match? Like, we kind of threw it in just to showcase the Bomb Angels and the women's tag stuff. Did you dig it?
I did. I thought the girls were really actually athletic and really hurting each other.
Were you surprised the Glamour Girls could hang with them?
They didn't really, though.
You didn't think so?
I didn't think so at all. I think they were just taking moves and just kicking out of stuff over and over again. Well, there was occasional like body slam. But
playing the bass is a very important part of wrestling. Like being the stout person that the other guy can fly off of. You know, like so they were really good at being the bass for the Angels. Like they would take all of their shit like flush and like, you know what I mean? Like they didn't.
Yeah.
They smoothly went with what they were doing. They weren't flying with them, but they were hanging in the match. They weren't. They didn't look like out of place.
Kind of like Savage against Steele.
Right. Steele's is an awful fucking bass. That's all.
You're thick at the base.
What'd you think of the finish? Were you surprised the Glamour Girls won?
Yes, it was outrageous. Another miscarriage of justice.
Yeah. Which
is the second time in this group of matches that I watched where the commentator ended it with that word, which is funny because there were two different commentators.
Right.
I guess the whole miscarriage thing was big in the 80s too. Like miscarriages, snakes, hentai.
It's a sick decade.
Very, very sick, gross decade. I can't wait to get into the 90s.
Did you like the finish with the powerbomb? Judy Martin powerbombed one of the Japanese girls.
The Japanese girl got the powerbomb?
Yes.
It was pretty heavy, but they were beaten.
Yeah.
They were beaten, and it was another bamboozle.
Yeah. I like that. Judy Martin she was like one of the few people doing a fucking powerbomb in 1980s WWF.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm glad we talked about that, because that's a fun one. But now we get to our main event of the evening, and we head back just a little bit to October 3rd, 1987, Saturday night's main event from Hershey, Pennsylvania, the Hershey Park Arena. And we're going to talk about Randy Savage challenging the Honky Tonk Man for the Intercontinental title and some of the fallout that comes from that. So you saw some of the tease where Savage was pissed that he couldn't regain the title from Steamboat. He wanted to beat him. And Honky immediately starts calling himself the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time, like right out of the gate.
And wow, I hate him so much.
And Savage takes it personally. I'm the fucking greatest. You know what I mean? So Savage, during this time, basically de facto turns face.
Well,
because he wants his title.
You can't possibly fight the Honky Tonk Man without being a face.
And by this point, he's so awesome and so great. It's hard. Like, everyone just wanted to cheer. Like Jake the Snake. You just want to fucking cheer the guy.
The Honky Tonk Man could fight, like, Jeffrey Dahmer. And people are like, yeah, Dahmer, take your knife and cut his stupid mullet off.
Eat his fucking sideburns.
Pudgy little gut.
So here's the big match. So did this feel like a big time match for you? Like opening up here?
Yeah. I mean, it's Savage, Intercontinental title. Of course.
Tell me about it.
Savage's intro talk was really good.
Yep.
He said he's going to prove in front of zillions of people that he's the best.
Yep.
Which is kind of adorable. It's like 8-year-old kid. Somebody would say that. He's really bad at math. Really awkward. I'm going to show him he doesn't know the difference between a guitar string and a G string. Like in Miss Elizabeth kind of was like,
Do you,
thumbs
Randy?
down.
Yeah.
That was lame. And then he ends it by saying that he's going into the danger zone.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
When did Top Gun come out?
It was like 85, right?
Yeah.
But
Little Loggins.
Kenny Loggins, man.
Yeah.
It's like, we're going to do the danger zone, and then afterwards we're going to get footloose. It's going to be great.
This is it.
But yeah, you know.
Heart to heart, I'm talking to you right now.
Finally, Savage gets to come in second as the challenger, which Hogan had been stealing his thunder in a terrible way, all those matches.
Well, that was later, but yeah.
Of course it was. I knew that. But yeah, you know, you got Jimmy Hart doing the thing. Jimmy Hart is actually pretty great.
Yeah.
Like, he's
Such
very
a weaselly
intense.
runt.
He's always on his cues. He's always talking. It's just too bad that he wasn't, like, bigger. Because he'd be fun to watch
that makes it even
wrestle.
better.
Yeah.
Because you just want to... He's such a puny little shit that you just want to...
It's almost like he's in a win-win situation. Because he can do whatever he can do. And then if he gets hit, everyone's like, oh, how can you hit a guy who's that small?
Right.
But it was cool to see Savage just, like, holding him in the middle of the ring, and like winding up his fist,
Right.
looking around like, should I hit him? Should I hit him? Okay, I'm gonna hit him. Pow. That was good.
And then he, you're right, he is wicked active out there. Like he's always talking, always moving. Like he's no pause in his energy at all out there. He's always just flying around the ring.
Yeah, he's great. So it was kind of an interesting moment when he gets knocked out, and then all these people start running. The Hart Foundation comes out. Hey, what are you doing here? They got to pick him up and carry him away. It's just funny. You need 3 people to carry this one little guy.
Right. Yeah.
Like I could carry him out back to the locker room, but Miss Elizabeth was being her normal ditzy, non-useful self.
Yeah.
Every single time she was on camera, she was saying, "Come on, Randy."
Come on.
It's like you got Jimmy Hart and you got Miss Elizabeth.
Yeah.
You know, it's like 2 different leagues.
There's always this weird dichotomy with Liz. Like, sometimes they just present her as this beauty queen that was Savage's woman, and then sometimes they actually tried to make it like she was the brains behind the operation. And I never bought that like she never came across like she was running the ship. It was more like she was there for like support, moral support, and just...
Yeah, that would be
That's
a
her
really
guy.
hard sell.
Yeah.
Like, she would have to pull off some really genius scheme,
Right.
and Savage would have to just be made out to look like an idiot,
Yeah.
which, you know,
Never happens.
zillions of people aside, he's pretty good promoting himself.
Right.
Yeah, I just don't like the disqualification rule. Anyone could just ruin their own title defense.
That's right. That's what makes them so slimy. When you got a chicken shit heel champion that can just weasel his way out of a title defense by getting DQ'd.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised Andre didn't do that.
Well, he wasn't champion.
Oh, that's right.
You can't win the belt on disqualification, so he doesn't want to get disqualified.
Right. Just totally reverse the whole scenario in my head.
Yeah, you Willy Wonka'd it.
You know what? That's really impressive. That Hogan victory was so great because he was already champion.
Right. He stood up and conquered the challenger. He could have just walked out of the ring.
I never thought of that.
Yeah.
So
To make them heroic.
What else went on here? So they're back in the thing, and then you got the whole...
Did you like Vince and Jesse?
Yeah, they were great because... So now they're ganging up on Savage.
Yep.
And Vince is saying that Elizabeth can't do anything. And Jesse's saying, of course you can't because she's a woman.
Yeah.
Which, especially what's going on now, is
He's so misogynist.
it's pretty
Misogynist.
terrible.
Jesse, what did you think, though, when Honky threw her down? Was that like an ultimate, like...
That was just, oh, man.
But it made it count, right? Because
First of all, because they spent the entire match talking about how Elizabeth wants Honky Tonk Man.
Well, that's just Jesse doing Jesse things.
But like Heenan was saying it too, or Jimmy Hart somebody was saying, I don't know,
Right.
Or Honky Tonk was saying it.
Yeah, he's just making it up.
See, I can't even call the guy by a name.
Yeah.
I hate myself right now for even talking about him because I'm saying Honky Tonk is saying no. Give the man a name. Is his name Joe? What's his real name?
Wayne.
Wayne. Okay, I'm gonna call him Wayne from now on.
All right.
So Wayne is standing there shaking like, oh, you want me, don't you? You want me, don't you? No, she doesn't because she's with Randy Savage,
Right.
like the coolest guy of all time. So he's like shaking and they're like beating him, getting ready to hit the guy with the guitar. And this is so funny. Like she just runs in between them and all of a sudden, oh, she's just a woman. She made the ultimate sacrifice. They're comparing her to Anna from Frozen, saving her sister. Anna. Whatever. It's the same. Are you serious right now?
That's how it's pronounced.
Oh, is Anna, if I say Anna from Frozen, is that like a porn reference?
No, but it's like an Andrea thing from now to an L. It's Anna.
Is it Sandra or Sandra Bullock?
Sandra.
Oh, so you don't know
Sandra.
everything, do you?
No, but I know Anna because I've fucking dealt with Frozen for
All
the
right.
last 2 years.
It is Sandra, you're correct. But I'll get you.
Okay.
So yeah, then all of a sudden, the misogyny kind of bothered me because her just standing there is like this great sacrifice. But then I immediately turned back because he pushes her.
Yeah.
I mean, how do they even plan that?
She's a gentle bird.
She's very gentle. And they showed the replay. He really pushed her hard.
Yeah, he's a prick. So this was a great moment for Savage and Liz, though, because remember, he's kind of been a dick to her for years. And now he's turned face, and now someone else is touching his woman, and he's going to come to her defense. So this is like his coming-of-age moment here, Savage.
Yeah, I mean...
Did you hate the Hart Foundation, too, for standing there and holding him?
Bret Hart. I mean, the Anvil's kind of doing a good job of like being a guy who's in a bar fight.
Right.
But Bret Hart's like holding his arm, like laughing, turning his head, like, oh yeah, he's making gestures toward the woman. I'm like, I thought he was better than that.
Bret? Yeah. What did you think of the guitar shot here? We finally used a gimmicked one this time, not a real one.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
Savage was really cool because he knew it was coming, and he braced himself, but in a very subtle way.
Right. He still
so
took
he just
it.
kind of went, and he didn't like move his head or anything.
Yeah.
It was like that cool pop sound.
It was really awesome. It's a pretty seminal moment. It's like a big time moment.
It was one of the greatest crowd reactions ever.
Yeah.
Because first they booed when Elizabeth got pushed, and then it was like intensified booing once the guitar hits.
Right.
Like everyone was so mad, and you could see like some faces. They're like, "No, how could he hit him with a guitar? It's not like we've ever seen him do that before."
So Honky though is quickly becoming like this heat magnet, right? I mean, just like everything he's doing is just he's such
he's on fire.
Yeah. All of a sudden he's just like this most hated fucking guy right now.
He's like the center of the sun.
Yeah.
With heat,
the dark sun, heat miser. Any other thoughts on the match before we get to the end of the show?
Let's see. That was just it, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So the match itself, Savage doesn't get the title, obviously. He gets the DQ. Harper Nation come in, guitar, Liz down. All right, so we go to the end of the show, and we have Savage and Hogan.
Oh, but Hogan actually comes in to rescue Savage.
Right, yeah.
That's kind of important.
Right. All right, well, tell me about it.
Well, Elizabeth runs away. Great Heenan line there. He's like, when the going gets tough, she gets going. Which is like, oh my God, that's such a great...
Oh, sorry, it was Heenan instead of Jesse on that one, wasn't it? I said Vince and Jesse before.
Yeah, that's right, because Jesse wouldn't have kept saying that she wants the Honky Tonk Man. It was Heenan.
Right.
Like, oh, look at her looking at him.
Yeah, it was Heenan.
Well, she's looking at him because he's in the ring. My apologies, Jesse. Oh, I feel terrible now. I can't believe I did that.
Yeah, Hogan comes out and he cleans house, and then they shake hands and kind of celebrate. The crowd went fucking like bananas when they were united.
Yeah, it was cool because Hogan, he comes in, starts getting beaten up. Then Savage pulls him off, and they beat everybody up, and they turn around. They're about to hit each other.
Right.
And is that cool? I don't know if I like you yet.
Yeah, right.
You kind of douche me over. I kind of douche you over.
And Liz went and got Hogan. That was a big part of it, too. She went and found him and brought him out.
I'm surprised Savage didn't get mad about that. That was his whole thing. Like, oh, what? You talking to Hogan now?
Right.
You got a key to Hogan's dressing room?
It's coming.
Again? Stop spoiling things for me.
You saw it already.
Oh.
That was the first episode.
Oh, man. You're ruining this whole thing.
No, it's fine. It's still going to be great. All right, so Hogan would wrestle in that
Never
match.
going out of order again.
Okay, we're not. Hogan would wrestle in that match, and then we get a big backstage interview powwow. Gene Okerlund is with Savage and Hogan. Solidify the friendship, shake hands. The worlds are now aligned. All is right in the world of Hulkamania and the madness. What did you think of this moment?
It was cool, but Savage, you know who he's like? He's like LeBron James. He's like the LeBron James of wrestling. He's like Hulkamania. The baldness, but just it was all about him.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, Hulk Hogan saved me and my title and I this and me and my. That's all he cared about, man. Like there can never be a team between these two guys. They're too selfish.
Okay.
See, I think Hogan is better at selling the whole concept of a alliance.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious to watch you now play out again because I got your thoughts last time on this and about who you thought was right or wrong. And again, you're surprising me with you think Savage has come across as selfish because I feel like it goes against a lot of what people have retconned this to be. So we'll see.
So you think Hogan's just like stealing his spot?
Well, let's just see.
Is that what people think?
Let's just see how it plays out.
Because you're wrong.
Let's see how it plays out. What did you think then of the world premiere of the Pile Driver music video?
Man.
So we talked about this in one of the previous episodes, Coco singing Pile Driver.
You told your instructions said to watch the match, and then I fast forward to the end. I see there's only like 5 minutes left. I'm like, what could possibly be here? So I almost turned it off.
Yeah.
Because after the interview, they threw it back to a commercial.
Right.
And I was about to, and I was like, okay, that was cool. They shook hands. They did the cool slow handshake thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's a shot of Hulk Hogan in a construction outfit. And I'm like, what is that? And then Vince is like, stay tuned for the world premiere of Pile Driver. And then I remember hearing the song. And I'm like, oh, God, is this a music video? And it is the most ridiculous thing that I have ever seen in my life for so many reasons.
Yeah, name them.
Okay. People who are enemies are choreographing a music video together.
Right.
That's
so
weird.
That's how I always justify these, because this happens more than once. I justify it in that they're getting paid to coexist on set, and they won't get paid if they fight. Like in my mind, that's the kayfabe.
So they're being themselves. They're just being paid to do...
Right.
It'd be like if Hitler and FDR were paid $1 million to do a feed the homeless commercial.
Right. Yes.
Okay. I can get behind that.
Okay. So that's how I always rationalize that shit in my mind, is that like, they said, look, you're going to do this music video, but you're not getting fucking paid if you guys start fighting on my set.
I think it's very offensive to construction workers that they show Bam Bam Bigelow. And who's the other bald guy with the mustache?
Oliver Hump? No.
The really tall guy, bald mustache, like a blonde goatee or something.
I don't know. I'd have to watch it.
They're showing them jackhammer with one hand. Okay, that is very insulting. They don't know how to use a jackhammer. And I don't care how strong they are. They're not using one hand.
It's your first glimpse of Bigelow.
It is my first glimpse of Bigelow, actually.
Did you enjoy it?
He looks like a pretty big dude.
Yeah, he is a big dude. We'll see.
I mean, I know who he is because of Major Payne. And if you haven't seen Major Payne, starring Damon Wayans...
That's why you know Bam Bam Bigelow?
Yeah. Have you ever seen that movie?
Yeah, but I thought you'd know him from other things.
Well, I know him from...
Yeah.
But I don't know... Like, you do an impression of him, but I don't know the origins of the impression.
Correct.
But I know who he is because of Major Payne. Great movie. Damon Wayans at his finest.
What'd you think of Vince being on site and the kind of eating the lunch and giving the eyes?
He's wearing the very tight T-shirt.
Yeah.
He's like one of the boys, you know?
Right. I think that was his goal. He wanted to be one of the boys.
Whoever that big guy is, he gives the okay sign to a woman walking by, not once but twice.
Who was it?
It's like a cartoon where they show the stock footage in the background.
Was it Oliver Humperdinck? Was it Bigelow's manager? Was he like reddish hair?
No,
he
was totally bald. Totally bald head. He looked like a giant guy. Why don't you just Google image pile driver video?
All right, we'll look it up here. Give me some other thoughts quick while I'm looking this up. Oh, superstar Billy Graham.
Billy Graham, there you go.
Okay.
He gives the okay sign twice.
Yeah.
And then you got Billy Jack spitting out his apple. You remember that part?
Yes.
He's going to eat his apple and he spits out like, oh, she's so attractive. Yeah. Like these guys aren't banging broads left and right backstage.
Yeah.
But
it's the 80s. That's what you did. You
it's ironic. It's ironic that it's a construction site because you have the whole worker thing and the face and the heel, and they're not anything but they're just workers.
Right.
They're just company men doing something stupid for the company to make money, and they're actually being workers.
Yep.
It's a perfect.
And they're pile driving.
And they're pile driving, which now that you mention it, I never really thought of a pile driver as an actual term from real life.
Right. There
until
you go.
just now.
And then Billy Jack Haynes pile drive that woman later in that evening.
Yes, he did.
All right. What was your favorite match of the night?
Well, I would give it to the Savage fight if he had won.
Okay.
But I still got a bitter taste in my mouth about that. The pure enjoyment, gotta love the jumping bombs.
There you go.
Or the bomb angels, depending on how you you see that phrase.
I did not see that. I almost told you not to watch that match. I think I literally did tell you not to watch that match, and then we just did it anyway.
Maybe you should watch it again because it's very entertaining.
I didn't think it would. I knew it would be entertaining. I just time constraints and whatnot. I was going to say we could, if we had a bag one, we could bag that one.
Yeah.
I'm glad we didn't. Least favorite?
My least favorite...
The animal, that slob.
No, I kind of enjoyed that one just because the whole lumberjack effect. I kind of liked all these matches.
Very white, blue-collar, very blue-collar episode. Lumberjacks, construction workers.
Islanders.
Islanders.
They literally don't even have money.
They don't have collars.
Yeah, they just kill their own food.
Yeah.
But if I was going to rank them all, probably the Strike Force would be the bottom.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, the tag team thing, you need a lot to bring me into a tag team match.
Well, guess what? Our next episode is going to be all tag team matches because it's Survivor Series. Teams of 5 striving to survive.
That's a lot of jive.
So, who stood out the most to you on this evening?
Wait, so it's 5 against 5?
Elimination style.
Who stood out the most in the Strike Force match?
No, altogether, the whole night.
Oh. Like I said, I've developed my first full-on hatred.
Okay, good. We're going to have a lot of honky.
There is this woman I work with. Her name is Karen. And I'll find myself, on my day off, 9 o'clock at night, getting ready for bed, whatever, just like thinking about her and thinking about things I would say to her. And the Honky Tonk Man is all up in my head right now. Okay. It's like Honky Tonk Man fighting with Karen in my head. What I could do if there were no legal repercussions.
If Honky Tonk Man played softball in East Greenwich, would he fit right in?
Yes, he would.
Okay.
Actually, he'd probably be laughed off the team, and they'd make him cry.
Okay.
Those fucking bastards out there.
So, all right. We'll be back soon at some point in the coming weeks. We're going to continue through 87. We pretty much told you what the next episode will be, and that'll be the Survivor Series pay-per-view. And then we have something special planned after that as well. So, for Jeffrey, I guess I'll ask you what I always ask you. Do you want to continue on this journey?
I do.
Do you want to stay on the timeline? Are you done jumping around?
I would like to stay on the timeline, and I apologize to all of those hentai lovers out there who I offended.
All right, you probably got them excited. No one has ever talked about hentai and wrestling podcasts, even though I think they go pretty closely hand in hand. All right, so we'll wrap things up. That's Jeff. I'm JT. We're out. Talk to you soon. Hope everyone enjoys.
Bye-bye.
I'm cocky, I'm bad. I pick a mean guitar, I wear a blue suede shoes. You ought to hear me sing the snakeskin blues. I'm just a honky tonk man. I'm just a honky tonk man. I'm just a honky tonk man. I'm cool, I'm cocky, I'm bad. Roll, Elvis, let the honky tonk man show you how to rock and roll. Elvis who? He couldn't carry a tune if it had handles on it. Woo, have mercy, baby. Listen to the honky tonk man pick that guitar. Tonk man, you're running wild. I got Peggy Sue beside me, the colonel's in the back. I'm coming to your town in my pink Cadillac. I'm just a honky tonk man. Just a honky tonk man. I'm just a honky tonk man. I'm cool, I'm cocky, I'm bad. I'm just a honky tonk man. 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 I'm cool, I'm cocky, I'm bad. I'm just a honky tonk man. I'm cool, I'm cocky, I'm